Welcome to the Hair Restoration Counselor podcast, where hair science meets healing and faith meets beauty. I'm your host, Shannon, certified hair restoration specialist and hair loss, beauty, and brand mentor. I'm going to begin today's episode with a scripture because it is so fitting to everything that this podcast is about. And the scripture is Matthew 10:30. Even the very hairs on your head are numbered. In this scripture, God is letting his children know that they have not been overlooked and every detail of our lives are under his careful, detailed care, even our hair. God cares about our hair so much so that he numbered each individual hair follicle and strand. With that, today we're going to talk about the hair growth cycle and why understanding it matters. Today's title of today's episode is Disrupting the Hair Growth Cycle. Now let's get into the hair growth cycle explained. First, you have the anagen phase, which is also the growth phase, and the longest phase. Most of the hair at this phase is actively growing. Next, you have the catagen phase, which is the transition phase, also the shortest phase. Here, the hair detaches from the blood supply. The hair is still in the scalp, but it is no longer getting the nourishment that it needs. So then the hair stops growing, the follicle shrinks, club hair forms, then transitions to rest. Then you have the telogen phase, which is also the resting phase. And here the hair falls out to make room for new growth. Now let's talk about the negative impacts on the hair growth cycle. First, you have stress, where cortisol and imbalances disrupt the hair growth cycle. Nutritional deficiencies, which affect hair health and growing by causing brittleness and shedding. Scalp neglect, where buildup, clogged follicles, and inflammation affect the overall health of the hair follicles. Overprocessing and harsh styling, chemicals, high heat, and high tension hairstyles affect the strength of the follicles and the hair. And then you have medical conditions. Hormonal imbalances and autoimmune issues affect the health and the strength of the hair follicles. Now let's talk about reversing the damage. First, you want to be intentional about scalp health. Nourish from within. Utilize gentle styling practices. Practice stress management. Seek professional help. And remember, consistent small shifts can reset the hair growth cycle positively. Now let's talk about some encouragement for clients and professionals. Remember, hair growth takes patience, knowledge, and consistency. For beauty professionals, the more you know, the more confidently you serve. And for clients, remember your story isn't over. Your crown can be restored. Now let's get into recap key takeaways. We talked about the hair growth cycle basics, the negative impacts, and positive restoration steps. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hair Restoration Counselor podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Also visit divineimagesbyshannon.com for resources, products, and services. And be sure to follow on YouTube for visuals and tutorials. Until next time.